All right, y'all. So this is the full-length video on how to make your own laundry detergent at home for about 14 cents a day. It's about $51, $52 for a whole year's worth of laundry detergent. This is my best friend, Jamie. She came down here to Tennessee to see me, and she wanted to make her own laundry detergent. So here we go. These are the ingredients. Borax. Laundry booster. Borax is $5.97. Laundry booster is $4.76. One box of each. Baking soda, you only need 2 cups, but the big old box is $2.98. So that'll last you a while. Fels Naptha bars of soap are $1.20. You need 3 of those. And then the OxiClean stain remover. Now they always say 5 to 6 pounds. I am extra. I like to make sure stuff is super clean. I have a 14-year-old son with grass stains, so I get the 5-pound tub and the 1.77-pound tub. The little one's $5.98. The big one I think was $11 something, $11 or $12. So I grab one big one and one little of those. And then the scent booster, which this part I guess is optional. This is if you want it to smell good. Now I always use 3 of those small purple Purex ones for $3.97. Some people only use 2. I use 3 because I like my clothes to smell super fresh. Jamie went with this Arm & Hammer. It's a little bit bigger bottle and it was a little bit more expensive too. It was like 5 something. So she just got 2 of those. After we did the sniff test on every single one that they had, she chose the Arm & Hammer Clean Sensations. See, $5.48. So she got 2 of those for $5.48. And I always get 3 of those. So it's about the same price. But that's what she chose. And this is the jar. So you'll see that her total here in a minute. That jar is like 14 bucks. In Tennessee, we pay 9.75 cents on a dollar. So it's $13.97 at Walmart. So we pay almost 10 cents on the dollar. So about $15 for that jar. So here they're ringing up all of the things. I just wanted to show y'all what it cost us here in Tennessee at Walmart. $65.85. That's with the jar. So if you take off that 15, you're about $50, $51, $52 with that. Mine, I think was, it was a little under 50 without the jar. I found my jar at Goodwill for $12. Or maybe it wasn't Goodwill. Maybe it was just a thrift store. But this is what you do. You just chop up the Fels Naptha. Get you a good blender. This is my Ninja. Okay, now these Ninjas are awesome. But this soap, this is the Fels Naptha. You just chop it up. She did like 3 chops one way and then chopped it down the middle. And it will actually clean your blender too. So you don't have to worry about it, like poisoning you or anything. This is just literally soap. It will clean your blender. And then you can put it in the dishwasher. But you just chop it up really small. See, or she did 4 slices, long ways, yeah. So she ended up with 8 or 10 pieces. So you just chop it up and throw it in there. And then I always put in a little OxiClean, just to keep it, because sometimes if you blend just that soap, it'll end up clumping together and sticking to the sides of the blender. You don't want that. The less mess, the better. So if you just throw a couple of scoops of that Oxy in there, then it won't clump together and it'll blend beautifully. You'll see here in just a minute. And if you don't have a blender, you could use like a cheese grater or something like that. I just prefer to use the blender because it chops them up really fine, so that way it dissolves easier. That way, like, 'cause sometimes if you, like, even with store-bought powder detergent, sometimes when you take your clothes out of the washer, you've got little white flakes in there, and you don't want that. You want it to dissolve and actually clean your clothes. So we put it in the blender. We put 2 scoops of the OxiClean in there just to you know, help keep it from sticking. Give it a couple of pulses on the blender, just to where it's really finely ground. And another thing, I don't know if y'all have seen some other videos on here where people say the homemade laundry soap like clogs up their washers and stuff. That's because they're not using all of these ingredients. They'll use the bare minimums, and that soap will clog up your washer if you don't add like OxiClean and the laundry booster and stuff. That powder is what really keeps it from clogging up. I've not had any issues with this at all with my washer. And it also is safe for the high efficiency washers. My daughter uses this in hers. No issues whatsoever. But see how finely ground that is? That way it'll dissolve really easily. I have yet to take laundry out of the machine to find clumps in it. Like, that's why I love this recipe. I've tried several. Now, we are also going to be doing a liquid one. We're going to try a few different liquid recipes till we find one that's like Tide. I'm trying to find that for my mom because my dad is a mechanic, so he has greasy clothes. And she buys Tide. She will not use anything other. She uses this for the regular clothes, but she will not use anything on Dad's clothes other than Tide. So I'm going to try those Tide alternatives. But now we use 2 bags. That way when you tie them both up, it's less likely to leak out when you're mixing it. This to me was the easiest way to mix it. I saw another lady here on YouTube do it this way, and she's genius. Because if you're like me and you have carpal tunnel, you don't want to keep stirring it in a box. Like, it's very painful. Okay, so then all you have to do, get that bag, dump that in there, and dump all of your things. Your OxiClean stain remover. And we get the regular scent. You know, they had a purple one, I guess, if you wanted an extra scent. But you don't want your scents to clash. So you just dump it all in the bag. And I would actually, I know we didn't do it this way, but I would actually probably put the borax in there first so the other stuff can kind of knock it down. You really should be wearing a mask. You'll see why here in a second. Safety first. You don't want to inhale that borax at all. So you really should be wearing a mask, or just be really careful not to inhale that dust that comes up when you dump it in there.
So the big one and the small one?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
And we'll go ahead and add the borax.
Oh.
And she's making a mess anyway.
Don't breathe in. Definitely don't breathe.
Look
You
at
really
her.
do that. Safety first. You really should be wearing a mask because you're going to inhale it. Definitely don't inhale the borax. Okay. Good to know.
So the borax. Y'all, this is my best friend for probably 2 decades now. I moved to Tennessee longer than 2 decades because I've been in Tennessee, I believe, for 18 years. And she comes and visits me regularly. I go visit her. This is my best friend
I would kind of pour it on the
for
side.
life. Y'all, I love her so much. She's actually going to move here soon, hopefully. I mean, not soon, once her daughter is finished with school. But until then, we just visit each other.
Phew.
And I love it. She
Okay.
came
And then a whole
down.
box of Arm &
She's
Hammer
here because my
laundry booster.
oldest daughter had her second baby boy a week and a day ago today. Samuel Jason. He is so cute. Yeah, I'll pop in a picture right here so y'all can see
Or
him.
you can just open it from the top.
He's precious.
And then just dump it in that way.
But she came down here, you know, there's
Hold on.
nothing like having a bestie.
The laundry
Y'all,
booster.
if you don't have a bestie, get you one.
Oh, this one opened easily. This is where you need a measuring cup because you're only going to use 2 cups of the baking soda. 2 cups. So,
Oh wow.
the whole thing
I
is
see
2
what you
cups.
needed.
Yeah. Smelling good already. Oh, it's supposed to smell really good.
Yeah. It's for the top.
Ribbit. What's up, Medea? Rabbit.
Yeah.
Here we go. So 2 cups of that.
You done with this?
Yeah. And the last one, so I use the Purex. I use 3 bottles of the smaller Purex crystal ones. Jamie chose these. They're just scent boosters because they smell really good. So she's using 2 bottles. They're 24 ounce, 2 24-ounce bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They smell amazing.
They do.
Throw them both in.
Yep. Going both.
Ooh, that's gonna look pretty.
Oh, yeah, it does have color to
It
it.
does.
We were worried about it not having color.
Yeah, it's got color. It's got my yellow.
And if y'all notice, I'm not speeding through any of this. I want y'all to see that this whole process only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get all the products mixed and put together and ready to use. So after you put all of your ingredients in the bags, you tie both bags and then you just mix it. And you mix it and you mix it and you flip it and you mix it. But it's a lot to me. I mean, you can do it any way you want to. If you want to get a big tub and pour it all into a tub and mix it, you know, then that's your prerogative. This is the way that I do it, just because I have severe carpal tunnel and it's really hard for me to stir things. This, all we do is we just flip it and until, you know, all of the stuff is mixed in really well. But I mean, it's really up to y'all. like there's really no right or wrong way to mix it, as long as it's mixed thoroughly, you know. But I was just excited to have my bestie here, y'all. I mean, we're in our 40s and we've experienced so much together. Highs and lows of life, childbirth, graduations, marriages, births of grandchildren. I mean, now our 2 youngest are the same age and they're both going into high school. So, you know, we've got 4 years left. And Diesel and Livy, you know, we're hoping, you know, someday they might get married, you know, give us some beautiful grandbabies. But, you know, we can't prearrange it, even though we would like to. But we're just there. I mean, just being there for somebody. I mean, it's a blessing, really, to have a close circle. You know, a community of people that laugh with you and cry with you. And, you know, we just got off the phone with our other bestie, Tiffany. Her grandbaby had some accidents and she was in the hospital, and we literally just called. We did a 3-way video and the baby is home. Like, it was a miracle. Like, she was only in there for 3 days and I was calling for an update, and then here's this baby on the phone. I thought she would still be like in critical care, and it's just a miracle, you know. Like, God is good, and he took care of that little baby, and we just cried together. Like, it's a blessing to have people to love and people to love you. You know, it's just a blessing all around. And you realize that more and more the older you get, I think. You know, when you're young, you take a lot of things for granted and people for granted. But then when you get older, you realize how valuable that friendship is and those people are. And especially when they've stuck around, you know, all these years through all of the ups and downs of life. You know, and I'm just so thankful for my family and my close friends. My sister is flying in from Michigan. Or no, actually they're driving. They're not flying this time. They're driving down from Michigan this weekend so she can go dress shopping for my middle daughter, who's getting married next month. And we're just now getting the dress. But she is driving all the way down here from Michigan, and where she's at, it's about a 12-hour drive. She's driving down here just so she can be a part of that experience, you know, with her niece, you know, her middle niece. she gets to be a part of that experience. And it's wonderful. I love my sister and my bestie. They both live in Michigan. So I have to go make my rounds up there. I was actually just at my sister's a few months ago. But it's, you love the people that God has blessed you with. Don't take them for granted. And make sure that you're there for them just the way they are for you. So here, I don't know if you notice, I get carried away, I get emotional, but we cut the corners of both bags. Instead of untying them, we just cut the corners. That way we could dump it into the jar a lot easier. And these are measuring scoops. So this jar of laundry soap will last a family of 4 for an entire year. It says to use 1 to 2 tablespoons. I use 2 just because I'm extra, like I said. 1 will get it clean. I'm telling you, it's got all that Oxy, that baking soda, that Borax. That's a 1 tablespoon scoop right there. That's all you need is just 1. I've got the 2 in mine, so I use 2, the 2 tablespoon scoop. But you can use any scoops. I mean, the scoops that came in the OxiClean has marks for 2 tablespoons in it if you want to use 2 tablespoons. But that's it, y'all. Thank y'all for watching, and you have a beautiful, blessed day.